Hey there, Drawyah here, and welcome to Dovetail Games Train Simulator. Today, doing a run in the Southeastern Metro service to my 82 from here in London Victoria to Orpington via Herne, and I thought, with the soon-to-release Train Simulator 2 Faversham High Speed Network coming out, so the Class 305 Javelin from London to Faversham, we'd do a run in the same TOC, the same train operating company, and we do it in a unit that is close to my heart. So I've always adored the Networker series trains here in the UK. And so the 465, it's a third rail electric network train, and we would do a ride today in Train Sim. So London to Orpington, it's about a 45-minute journey, should be a pretty good one at that. So we'll jump into the scenario and get ourselves ready for a 15:41 departure. So, first up, forward, clear the LWS, gonna be pretty busy exit here in Victoria. Pay very close attention to the signals on the way out. But it should be a rather straightforward journey. Also make sure the doors open so that passengers can board the train. Yeah, I've always been a fan of the old networkers. So in the UK you have the class 165, the 166, the 365, 465 and 466 units. Then when British Rail was nationalised, and British Rail was privatised and given to train operating companies, the networker design was given to Bombardier, I believe, who then created the Turbo Stars and Electro Stars out of the same kind of body and chassis. So the trains still are built to this day, just in more modern setups. For example, right there on the left, that's a Class 375 Electro Star. So that there is basically a more modern version of the 465/466. So at this point we're now just waiting for a green signal, passengers aboard in about 40 seconds. Also make sure that the lights are set. So daytime lights, tail lights off, perfect. Right. Passing in 20 seconds, doors will close momentarily, signal will turn amber, then green. And then it's just a case of 15-mile-per-hour departure routes. Also, we'll keep an eye out on the lights just above the signal there. Okay, passenger boarding completed, proceed when signal is cleared. So, green aspect or amber aspect, and also we'll be given a clear to depart signal from the platform. This is in the dispatcher. Just waiting on that now. London Victoria, terminus for both Southeastern and Southern. There you go, green aspects be at the top. We'll set the train into throttle notch 1, notch 2. Nice and slow departure, create a bit of spacing. Yeah, Southern and Southeastern both use Victoria as their terminuses. Southeastern particularly use Charing Cross, Victoria, St Pancras as their three main terminuses. I've got a feeling there might be a fourth one that I just can't remember off the top of my head. They use London Bridge as a through station, while Southern use it as a terminus. And the Southeastern operated by Drawyah, same company that owns Thameslink, Southern, Great Northern. Here in the south and southeast of England. Going to go too fast there, 50 miles per hour. Things do speed up slowly as we leave terminus. Then cross the River Thames and start making our way down to the south of the network. Like I say, I've always adored these networkers. There's something about them I quite like, whether it's the rounded nose, the simplistic design. Seats very comfy, especially in some of the Chiltern Railway networkers. And also the sound. When we start accelerating, I'm using the default sounds, not the Armstrong Powerhouse add-on pack, but I'm considering it at this point. But the sounds of the train accelerates as well. Very, very blissful. Right, up to 20 now. Our first station shall be Brixton. I'm a little bit too fast there. Try not to go too fast. In the US, alerting us to a dual yellow aspect. Battersea Park power station in the background there. Used to be the power station that powered the entirety of the London Underground. Long since decommissioned. Now serves as a landmark recognisable here in well, south of the river, just to the west of the city. Now the River Thames. About 2.5 miles now to Brixton. Hopefully you'll be able to stretch our legs a bit. Speed up, 45 miles per hour coming up next. On the right you'll have the exits for southern services. That's up at Battersea Station, just visible to our right. We have straight through down into Brixton. So we're running a southern metro service, like I say. So Southern Metro operates a lot of stopping services up as far as Orpington, and then things start to spread out a little bit. Just up to our right. Now we're passing over the Waterloo East track. From the braking now, so it's going to go downhill. Just going too fast in this section. Now to our right, we're going to see two stations, Wandsworth Road and Clapham High Street. Both those stations are served by London Overground. However, do have a parliamentary service once a day in the morning with Southeastern that's off both those stations. So it originally was a Southeastern station. When the London Overground took over the service, essentially the line was then moved across, the Southeastern service to go through, and then, like I say, once a day at about 5:45 in the morning, the train will stop at both those stations, so Wandsworth Road and Clapham High Streets. There's a way to keep the line open. Now, depending on when the route was made, depending on when the service and title was created, you can see on the right that we do actually have a Southeastern service now departing. But in the modern day, all operated by London Overground. Brixton now just under a mile away from us. About 1,000 yards to this point. But let's speed up a little bit, a little bit slow. ETA is 15:48. Well, rough time is 15:48. ETA is about 15:48 and 7 seconds, so doing alright in terms of timing at the moment. Just going for a pretty smooth stop for this plan. Later on, once you do leave the main central London area, the line speed does eventually go up to about 60 miles per hour on our approaching to Orpington. Now approaching Brixton. And again, being a metro service as well on Southeastern, we will be in all station stopper, and therefore we do need to sure our braking is impeccable today. 8-car service, using up the 4 lengths of most platforms here. do. That'll do nicely. Right, welcome to Brixton. So now that we've entered the platform, we're going to head down the southerly branch via Herne Hill. The train that was on the northerly branch can now make its way towards Victoria. Doors now closing. Now departing. Next station is Herne Hill. Expects arrival at 15:51. Also, you can now see the bottom there. Speed limit has increased to 60 miles per hour. Does slow down again on the approach to Herne Hill. A few junctions for us to navigate around, but ultimately does allow us to speed things up a little. Past Herne Hill up to 60 miles per hour again, and then after that, speed limits changes very, very little. So I think there's a small junction on the way into Orpington that we need to slow down for. But ultimately, should be a simple way in. So, AW sounded that. Warning us of the speed limit changing up shortly. Down to 45, a little bit braking in, just to make sure we don't go too fast. Leaving the throttle and power setting 1 does allow for a nice little coast without any issue of actually slowing down. I'll also say, having the mild controller, so combined brake and throttle handle, just makes the train very nice to drive, very simple. For another reason why I like this train so much. No, I like Electro Stars, I like Turbo Stars, but the original, the Networkers, certainly been close to my heart. Probably because it probably was the first train she rode on mainline as well. Going back a couple of years. So we arrived about 20 seconds early at the station, which is pretty good. A couple of moments, this train over here. Now departing. Presumably you're the return service, so you're departing from Orpington. Oh, actually, I'll take that back. Yeah, you're an out of service train actually. So you're on your way to depot 465197. So look, our lead unit is 465156. Now to trailing 465156, 465176. So doors close, lights extinguishers, that means you're now cleared to depart. Next station, West Dulwich. West Dulwich, about 1 mile. To our right goes via Norwood Road and Brockwell Park. Over the rear train to pass the speed limit sign at 60. Slight upgrade at this point, so let the train naturally slow down as we approach the station. Start to do some braking, and again, try and aim for around a 20 to 30 mile per hour entry to the station. That way we're nice and slow, don't go too fast, and therefore we need to put too harsh braking in towards the end. These next shots to our right. He's running a business service, therefore not stopping at the metro stations. So there are 3 different aspects to Southeastern. You have the Southeastern Metro, which is the all-station stop part. You have the Southeastern main line, which is the long distance strips, so here to Dover, here to Faversham, for example. And then you've got the Southeastern high speed, which is the class 305 javelins out of St Pancras International, and operates high speed lines down to Folkestone. A little bit slow, looking at timing there. We're about 25 seconds early, and so again, we do have plenty of time to slow things down a bit, just to make sure that we're a bit more exact with our stopping. You can see now, we're still within the M25 boundary. It's a lot greener, a lot less built up. Comparable to actually to the Metropolitan line on the other end of London, so when you think about London as a whole, you have London Underground, which is a majority of the northern side of the Thames. You have a few stations on the south side, but I think like 3/4, perhaps even more, actually north of the river. Then you have the London Overground, which is a ring rail, which again, more predominantly to the north of London, but has got some South London connections. And then you've got a lot of commuter trains down the south of London, so Southeastern, Southern, the two main operators down here. And so, you look at the London Underground map, it shows north of the river, good connections, south of the river, nothing exists. In reality, you look at a National Rail map, south of the river, there are pretty much the same number of stations, both sides. Just in this case, operated by mainline trains. In terms of coverage, in terms of routes, it's like an extended Metropolitan line down south of the river. Next station, Sydenham Hill. Sydenham Hill. Sydenham even. Sydenham. Come on, Drawyah. Better pronunciation. We live here. Come on. Right, up to 60. Probably won't reach 60. Close to 45. Bridge starts on going down again. And also, Sydenham Hill probably, in my opinion, one of the prettiest stations down here on the Southeastern network. I'll show you why. Essentially, we're now in like a giant cutting, with much lower level than the terrain around us. Got to go through a tunnel in a second. But even the entry points into the platform, beautiful, very, very beautiful. This. Church chapel at the top there. Perfect. Right, doors open. So if we have a look outside, we have standard setup. So you've got two platforms, got a waiting shelter on the London side platform, building as well. Footbridge at the top, that crosses over the two platforms. On this side, you have a set of stairs that see up to the high level side of the station, which pretty much just looks down there everything. It's again, very, very pretty this. Like kind of down the side of the station, you look down, and on this side as well, you have your flat path up, takes you up to the main road. So the whole way it looks, it's a pretty station that, even top here. So we go up towards the church, up to the steeple and look down. You have your train line, you have your tunnel. Okay, you can even just about see London in the distance over there as well. It's a very, very pretty station this. Coming up next, Sydenham Hill Tunnel. It's about 1.5 miles underground now, and the only real tunnel we go through in this entire route. I'll wait for those to close. Departure very shortly. Right, Peng East, next station in 1.5 miles. So in this case, station enter tunnel portal. On the other side, we leave tunnel portal for an immediate station at the other side. In terms of train interior, it's a standard worker interior this. The Southeastern website at the top there on the display of where the station is. The Southeastern network map, a few adverts on the top. I think nowadays in these adverts it's the Southeastern key card that gets advertised, like the Oyster card that used for Southeastern services here in the southeast of England. I've said southeast so much in this video, it's going to sound different by the end of it. Southeast, southeast, southeast. Comes to 60 now. Did remember we are on a downhill bit of track, so don't go too fast. Just bounce between throttle 1 and neutral, just keep things balanced. And also you can see on the map right away, we leave Peng East straight to Kent House. That one's about half a mile between the two stations. Running underneath the Crystal Palace Park Road here, the tunnel follows the same route as the road up ahead. Sitting down for the station now. Hope you'll make it. I do realise now that we're actually a little bit fast on the approach. It's around 40, which I'll tell you what, we'll be alright. We'll be alright. See, I'm a pro. I know what I'm doing. Just self-doubt. Nothing too much. From quarter end of the platform, we're to the 8 car marker. Again, just looking at the scenery here. It's a very pretty route, this. I believe it's one of the older ones as well for Train Simulator. It came out in 2014, I think. It's definitely stood the test of time. I will say, some of the newer routes in Train Simulator, some of the newer models and all that, very, very pretty indeed. Right, welcome to Peng East. About 30 seconds early, so again, in terms of timing, pretty much spot on. And the other platform coming in now, they're also going to stop here. Yes, they are train heading to Victoria. Have a look at the map. So from Peng East will be Kent House, Beckenham Junction, Shortlands, Bromley South, Bickley, Petswood and Orpington. As we reach Petswood, got to be very careful in the approach here, especially around the signalling. So you have the junction over here, which takes you towards the Chatham Main Line and the Dover Brewery Line. And make sure we slow down with ample time for the tight turn around that. Right, next station, Kent House. About half a mile away. So again, goes around 40 miles per hour. That tells for an immediate slowdown. Audio sounded that. On this occasion, presumably, to alert me about a set of points changing. Don't see a slowdown on the HUD at the bottom there. We'll stay aware for it. Down to 40 miles per hour. Now into the station. Go. Very nice. Doors open. Kent House. Not going to be stopped here for too long. Well, this form was a slightly larger station in regards to both Southeastern and Southern services stopping here. Ultimately, not a station for too long. Running up 2 trains of 12 cars in length. In terms of the actual variety of the route as well, I mean, you start out in London Victoria, so you're in a bustling, busy centre of London. Within, what, 25 minutes? Now out into the suburbs. Very quiet, very peaceful. It just shows the scale of the city, because again, we're still in London. We're still well within the M25 limits. And, well, the local Kent House area, all considered within one of the London boroughs as well. So, just gives you the full range of this. Especially when we approach Beckenham Junction. Beckenham Junction, next station. Things do start to get a little busy again as well. Alright, you now have the tram link tracks closing in. And then also in the sim, you actually have got tram link platform as well, models as part of the station. Very, very detailed little bit of track this. Also, you can see the continuing inside as well. Tramlink uses the overheads to draw and power trains. Best in third rail, especially on the tram network. You see people walking down the line, especially around the Wimbledon area. So I'll put it in, we'll have a look around. We have a southern service to our right on the terminus platform. We have a southeastern service on the left, also at the terminus platform. Dual yellow aspect coming up now, so I've got to be very careful. There's a train ahead of us somewhere. 2 blocks in front, 2 aspect splits. I'm sure by the time it departs again, I think we should start to clear up the line. Right, nice and slowly, come to the all-car stop marker. That'll do. Yeah, that'll do. No problem. So, here in Beckenham Junction, on the left you have the Southeastern terminus platform. You have 2 and 3 in the middle. You have the southern terminus, and just over the fence, tram link. So this is the, well, it's part of TfL now. It used to be a separate line. Fun fact, despite the fact I've lived in London all my life, I've never actually been on a tram set. Not sure why, just never had a reason to go via Wimbledon or Brixton. But you have 2 tram link lines, merges in to the main line, and then curves off to the left eventually, as it heads on its own separate way. Also, another station coming as well, I believe. Yes. Not sure which station this is, but you do get a fair bit of line models. Right, let's now depart. Next station, Shortons. About a mile and a half between 2 stations, you get a chance to hit the 60 mph limits, but not for too long, because again, slow down next station, especially when it's in the short of the metro bit. We got our specs coming up. Okay, so we're going to take a set of points now. as indicated by the lights above the signal. Vision to the right. Shorten's coming up. Bromley, not too far ahead of that as well. Again, 4 platforms, 2 islands. This thing starts to widen up a bit. Okay, single aspects now, so gotta be very careful. That signal should most likely be red. There's a timing for on time, so 16.9 expected, 16.09 in about 30 seconds by the time we stop. Very Drawyah aspects now, so train in front of us is moving. Hopefully should be cleared line shortly as well, because not too far off the Bromley. We have another junction coming up, which does separate Southeastern network a bit. So again, a very cautious slow departure from train on our right, because they'll be navigating the Shortlands Junction just in front of it. And this one's departing towards Victoria. At this point, trains will probably be terminating either at Victoria or Cannon Street, depending on which track it takes out of junction just passed behind us. So if we have a look, well, London Victoria will be taking the track to the left. He will not be going on the underpass. The underpass takes you via Cannon Street, overpass takes you towards Victoria. Doors closed, let's get going. Desperately actually. Train right behind it as well. Also an 8-car service. You are terminating at Victoria. Perhaps Cannon Street is at service, perhaps. Very busy at Victoria. I will say, out of all the train smaller routes, we don't actually have a Cannon Street start or stopper. What I can think of. How about the other Southeastern? Certainly in the future, I wouldn't mind seeing Cannon Street service. Let's go a bit of right, that's for sure. So Bromley South, then pass through Bickley. And out to Bickley, speed limit drops down to, I think it's about 15-20. As we navigate set points, and then back up to 60 once we're on the South line into Orpington. So 2 stations here, Bromley South and Bromley North. Bromley North operated by Southern Services. Well, actually could be overground. No, I think it's Southern operates Bromley North, and then Bromley South operated by Southeastern. And I believe this is solely Southeastern, not any of the other docks out here. A little bit slow, put a little bit of power in, that's no we're not. The 8 marker is right there. I'm going to slowly glide past the window. I forget, it's a very long platform here at Bromley South, you need to stop at the right place for it. Up to trains of 12 cars, I'm sure much longer can even stop here if we needed to. I believe this is the South Circular down here. You've got the, rather well designed actually, South Bromley. It looks pretty much spot on to a real station. Of course, there'll be more branding in real life for the Southeastern maps posts and all that. Yeah, in terms of the model design, pretty much spot on to what you'd expect to see here. 12 past 4 in the World of Train Sim. Doors close. And train departs. Next station, Bickley. I mean, I love the level of detail in this train in regards to what it can do. I'm especially excited for the Train Sim Mod 2 Class 465 add-on. So when the Southeastern high-speed route first releases, you'll have this and the Electrostar that operates on this line. I want to say 485, I'm probably wrong with that one. In fact, let's have a look, shall we? 375, yeah, 375s, there you go. So you have 375 and the Class 305 high-speed Javelin trains. And then eventually we'll have the Class 465 add-on pack that comes out, which is this train for the routes between Faversham, and there's a certain station on that route, I can't quite remember where trains will start and terminate at. I'm sure once the add-on comes out, though, we'll get a bit more of an idea of the, well, the route's already out on Train Simulator, so I get more of an in-depth kind of look into what the route will be like. But I've seen the screenshots so far, I've seen the footage, and it's looking very good, this. One of the longest routes in Train Sim World. Not the fastest. You can't get too much faster than TGV Mediterranean. That was a very, very high-speed route. But I started to get a lot of fun out of that one, especially in regards to stopping services. There are a few stops to be done on routes. It's about an hour and 10 minutes to London Faversham Javelin. So now at Bickley, and very shortly getting ready to do the junction that takes us away from Chatham Main Line and down to the southerly branch towards Orpington. So departure will be in a couple of seconds. And very peaceful steady station as well. Means what? Quarter past 4, so not exactly in any rush hour at the moment. And especially down south of the river. I think you get a lot more people driving north of the river who use public transports. Therefore, station's not quite at capacity, but during rush hour things do certainly build up. Especially because you can get from here to here to central London in 38 minutes. Like less than actually, because the first couple minutes of the stream was actually setting up train and all that. So departed at 41, that's about 2 minutes. So yeah, here to London about 35 minutes. And that's an all station stopper. If you can get yourself to Bromley and then go for a non-stop fast train into London, then you're down to about 15:20 at this stage. Covering 12 miles about now from Victoria. I'm using Third Rail's map as well to track all this stuff as well, so if you don't know it, it's like a free tracking tool. Very good for what it does. You see all your train stats and facts. I will say, I do enjoy using it, especially Train Simulator. Right, so I'll slowing down now, down to 30. It's Wood next station. Now leaving Chatham Main Line to head south. That'll do a little bit fast down the entry points, but not problematic. Hearing a train coming, can't see one. Oh, there it is on the other side. 50 again, up to 70, although likely won't accelerate past 60 when you approach to Pettswood. Pettswood to Orpington, however, will definitely be able to stretch the train's legs a bit, as from this point on, we're now off the main line, we're now onto the separate sidings and all that. Well, not sidings, but you're now on the lesser used line. Much more distance between all stations. That's a single yellow aspect, which means our next signal will be red. We'll be very careful with that one now. Probably means the train's actually now at a platform at Pettswood. We need to wait for them to depart. You can see the red aspects just in the distance over there. I can see a train on the up line. Actually, I think I just about see a train on the down line, just behind the post there. Yes, I can. So we'll slow train down, bring it to a halt. Our ETA into Pettswood is at 16:20. 45, so yeah, we've got about a minute or so we can hold before we need to get going again. No aspect, single yellow. That does clear us into the platform to make our stop. Very nice indeed. AWS. Now looking for the 8 coach marker. There we go. And halt. Pettswood, our penultimate stop. Next station will be Orpington, where this train terminates. Please remember your belongings when leaving this train. I'll say, this is a fun one, this. It's a fun one. You do get a bit of variety, so we've now left the metro section, therefore no longer stopping at every single station. At this point, it's now full throttle, full speed ahead, and get ourselves to our terminus. I believe top speed is 100 miles per hour. Normally it tells you somewhere in the cab what the top speed of the train is, but I believe it's 100 miles per hour for the... Actually, no, I could be wrong. It's 90 for the Networker turbos, so the 165, 166. The Networker Express, which is this one, the electric train, I think actually it has top speed like 75. It is a slower of the trains. In fact, drawing power from third rail does play a part in that, so overhead catenary is generally the more efficient way of drawing power. Also, less adverse to weather. So, with third rail, the problem you get with it sometimes is that if it's wet or if it's snowing or icy, it essentially covers the third rail line, and the contact shoe can therefore not draw power from it. As a result, it can leave trains stranded from time to time. Outside, however, it is the cheaper method, and therefore its maintenance costs allow things to lower a little bit. Also, I think it's a more efficient method as well. So, in regards to drawing power, it's less requires less power to get a train moving, and also rather open in regards to what you can operate on it. So, third rail train can operate on third rail and fourth rail tracks. So, for example, the Watford DC line, so London Euston to Watford Junction, you can use either a third rail or fourth rail train, so fourth rail being London Underground, and third rail train can run on fourth rail, but fourth rail cannot run on third rail because you need the fourth rail, the central earthing rail, to complete the circuit. Train on our left now, heading into the buffers, terminating that. To 20 miles per hour now, already at 16, it's not a problem. Our rail time expected about again, about 20 seconds early, so in terms of our timetable scheduling, we've been pretty much spot on this entire route. Absolutely nothing that can go wrong at this stage. He says while putting the frost in to the brakes. That once on the stream, definitely going to try that again. Driving the Bickley line on Train Simulator, so the old West Coast Mainline South add-on, not the Roots one, but the Arsenal Powerhouse one. When approaching the buffers at the end of the line, for some reason, I don't know why I did it, but for some reason I forgot what the throttle and the brakes were, and ended up actually accelerating into the buffers rather than slowing down. Fortunately, nothing went wrong with that one, train just hit the buffers quite nicely. But since then I've been very careful in regards to braking and slowing down. Orpington bus station to our left. Emergency brake setting, how so? How so? I'm confused by that. Did we miss stop marker? I saw the trip clock at the bottom there, but I thought we went right in the platform. We do. Maybe I went a bit too fast. Where is it? Where are you? I think I might have gone a bit faster there. Perhaps it's the... there it is. Perhaps it's the 5 mph limits that I went over. Therefore, train hit the emergency brakes. Not going to cause any problems. We're in 8 car set. We're well within the platform. I'll just have a telling off from my senior manager there. But overall, not a bad run that. Great work. All tasks completed successfully. Let's see how well you did. There we are, class 465, 2 Mike 82 1540 from London Victoria to Orpington. We scored a total of 1,922 points, which gives us enough for a gold star, which is good to see. We unlocked 2 achievements, as well as the raising the bar. And if we scroll down, have a look at our scores in more detail, you can see, yeah, we lost a few points for speeding every once in a while, but not too many points given that we were actually on the brakes, the majority of those. Again, we had the slight trick clock at the end there, so the emergency brakes, which again, that's more down to driver concentration. But other than that, for a train sim run, can't really fault it. So yeah, I guess that now brings us to the end of that. A massive thank you to Dovetail Games for letting me take part in their Festival of Rail this time around. If you guys want to see more, then feel free to check me out on YouTube and Twitch. I am Drawyah. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching. You take care of yourselves, and I shall see you again in the very near future. Take care, and goodbye.